Hi everyone, so thanks for watching. I'm trying to make this video to make it more efficient tomorrow for our discussion. And yeah, this is our first board meeting and I'm very excited. So we're going to go through the Emanate overview, look where we are, thanks to you. And the webinar and newsletter workflow is not a walk in a meadow, hey. And then we talk about podcasts that does not progress as fast. And also social media contents where there should be more than to publish events. It's cute, right? Yeah, so I will start with the Emanate assets. I call these assets because this is something that we have been gathering after 1 year doing Emanate. Thank you everyone for all your contributions. So I would say that we will start with the Facebook group where we have also a page when we have 9 people liking our page, but we also have 70 group members. But in summary, it is a very low engagement in there. And then we have also LinkedIn groups with the 84 group members. It is also very low engagement. So the only people who are posting there are me with the events and Sawa with the job post. And apart from that, we also have MailChimp where we have gathered 143 email addresses. And this is where we are sending our webinar invitations and newsletters from. With average open clicks, like it's not clicks, but opening our emails are 41%. So out of 143 people, 52 people are from our batch, and then 25 people are from the batch of 2018, and then 35 from 2019, and 29 from 2016, which is below us. So we can see that we are actually covering only 4 years. And talking about the YouTube, where we record our webinars, we have 25 subscribers by now. And I'm trying to pull out a little statistics on the participations of webinars. We can see that from July, this is July 2018 until November 2018, we have increase of presence. And December we have like a holiday, so we didn't have any webinars. And in January was where we had Christina presenting her project, and we have like a shoot of our webinar participations. And then it is followed by in February, it goes down again. It was where the Bakhtiar presentations, and in March we had actually a presentation from Pauline, but we could not record it, and I was not there to know how many people were there on Hangouts. And we have in the last webinar, which was in April, and no one was actually there because it was on holiday, I would suppose. And afterwards, we also have domain. We have emanate.us domain, but we have not made any website yet. And with this domain, we have 3 email addresses: astu@emanate.eu, nipunabi@emanate.eu, and contact@emanate.eu. So if we need more, then we will create more. But for now, that's what we have. So we will discuss in the next slides what we may have to do with regard to these assets. Now I would like to introduce to you how do we do webinar. Basically, three people that are involved is me, Nipun, Andre, and also the speakers for sure. And we try to get the speaker as soon as possible. So at least 20 days before the webinar itself, and it's always taking place on the second or third week of the weekend of the month. And 14 days before the webinar, we try to spread invitation with this, Facebook, LinkedIn, or MailChimp. So before this, we actually asked for the speakers to give us information about what they are doing and what they want to present. And on the day -1, we send reminder, and this is also where we actually open the communication line. We create WhatsApp group and try to talk with the speakers of how the rundown is going to take place. And on the D-Day is actually the busy day, is where links got updated because we have 2 links, Hangouts and YouTube, and there are some technical tasks that have to be done before people can actually click and join us. And and then we start hosting, which is the webinar itself. And after the webinar, ideally we are sending feedback form in which people can say like, is it good or is it bad? Do they like it? And also the chance if people want to get involved. So Rojan here actually wrote to us and he said that he wants to get involved. So that's why he's invited for this board meeting. And then on a week afterwards is the deadline for us to update what was discussed in the webinar on the social media so that people know what we are discussing. So the issue that we have faced during these webinars is that sometimes we're running out of resources for hosting. For example, when I'm not available or Nipun is not available, then no one, we faced this problem to host. And Paula was there last time and she was very available, but then the conditions was not supporting that, so she could not host. So we're thinking of having a training so that many of us can host so that we can alternate the hosting so that webinar can carry on even when Astu and Nipun are not available. And then also we do not really evaluate how the webinars took place. We did it when Cesar took run it, but then afterwards we just did not do a lot of evaluations. And the issue is also with finding speakers. So basically, it's only me doing it, me asking people if you want to join or not. And so far, there is not yet an issue, but I can see the issues will rise in the future because it's getting like less and less, options for me to look for speakers. So, so this is where your connections or your networks might be useful, like Cesar when he was inviting David. Thank you very much for that. And also the following is to attract interest of the people and how can we invite people and make them attend our webinars. And the little problem is we do not know how to add features to allow people to add event on their calendars through an invitation. Like there should be one link when you click on it, then when they have calendars, they can save it on their event so they can get like automatic reminders. So that's on the webinars. Okay, that was webinar, and now is newsletters. So you've been seeing probably newsletter coming up to your email address for the last 3 weeks, 3 months already. And again, it's me, Nipun, and Isabel is working with us for the sustainability sections, but we also had a lot of brainstorming in terms of how to make like a proper newsletter for everyone. So you can see the content involved, the length also changed and all, but we don't have workflow for the moment. So basically this okay, now it's almost the end of the month, so is now we have to like work on it, and the templates are already ready on MailChimp, so we collect articles, informations about webinars and events and other news, and then we put them all, and then like we do a check on like we write everything, we check our how to say grammar or everything, and then we send it out on the D-Day. And also we copy and paste the link on the social media. So far, we only follow up the webinar, the newsletter only by the number of the number of the people that are opening the newsletters, but we do not have any indicators to see how good or how well, or which is or whether the thing goes to spam or not. So maybe here I would like to get your feedback on how were the content and how is the length, and what do you think about the frequency? Should we send more and shorter or something like that? And what I need to tell about this as well, that we are starting day-to-day sustainability content. So I sent questions to Ima about like how she lives sustainably. So that's a bit of spoiler alert for the next newsletter. But yeah, so something like that we want to have as well. And what I would like to have is also to feature someone. I've been telling this to some people. Like, for example, I want to feature Joanna. So I want to tell about Joanna, what is her expertise. You can go to her for this content, for these issues, and probably Joanna would like to collaborate with the people with this kind of expertise. So the idea is to create synergy between people who have the same passion and need. Feel free to add any other thing to improve during the meeting. Thank you. Yeah, so that was newsletters and webinars, and what we have been doing. But we have been looking into doing podcasts as well for some times. And Pauline, me, and Nipun, we have done some brainstormings on how we can do it. and we have achieved some progress. We have identified the server, which is the place where, when you record something, some audio files, we have to save it somewhere. So we have found the servers, and we also have found the platform, like discuss what are the possible platform to publish our recordings. And we have identified also some recording software, depending on what your computer is. We need the recording software because, well, our conditions will not allow us probably to do podcasts like guest and okay, the format is going to be like two people asking questions and one person as a guest answering the questions, and also there will be some discussion involved among three of us. That was the initial idea. And because we are not at the same place, so we need software to integrate these things. And we have identified Call Note for a Mac and Amulto for Windows, but we have not installed any of this. We have not tried it. And between three of us, we also have decided for the topic to be the social innovations, because like me and Nipun will be the ones asking questions, and Pauline will be the one answering based on her expertise and experience. And we already drafted the script. So that's where we are at the moment. And however, Pauline, for now, she claims that she has other priorities as well. And so we are actually looking for someone to kind of replace her energy, because yeah, her energy and her brilliant ideas. Thank you, Pauline, for having constructed this with us. So we want to continue this with someone else. Pauline will be there to give us some support as well, but we need someone to drive this initiative. So put everything that we have already know into practice and then continue with this. So if you're interested, then yeah, let us know. So now it's about social medias. Is we do not have enough ideas, and it is also resource intensive. So this is actually my biggest worry, because social medias require constant presence, which we are not doing at the moment. So yeah, well, we need a presence and consistency in the social media. We need content. We need people posting ideas. We need people finding articles, and we need engagement to the people as well. Because without engagement, those numbers that we have at the very beginning, they will just go away. And I think to create an engagement, we need to know first, what do people need? Like every batch would have a different need. Like we have different needs than people who just now in the program of ME3, and the people who graduated in 2014, for example. So we need to identify these needs. And then also we need to create a communication lines. I don't know, maybe by surveys, by asking questions, by having kind of forums, I don't know. And then we also need to pull out statistics as well. This is something that we have to monitor. And one thing that I found from the internet is to find a brand ambassador, is to find someone of ME3 that is very active, and then has to have them quoting Emanate all the time in their post, something like that. So someone of that can be like a brand ambassador, or even yourself, like quoting Emanate all the time in whenever you're posting your LinkedIn or your Twitter, then yeah, it is an option to increase our engagement rate. And the third things that I would like to discuss is the social media that we have not used yet. Do we want to expand to Twitter? What are the consequences? Do we want to use Instagram? What are the consequences? And because when you have a lot of social medias, you really have to copy and paste what you update everywhere. And is there any software that do one update for all? And yeah, the thing with the social media is like it's very segmented. Like some people do not use Facebook, some people do not use Instagram, some people do not use Twitter. So if you want to reach a lot of people, it actually makes sense to do a lot of social media's platform. But yeah, it comes with the consequences, because again, it's really, really resource intensive. And I think it only works if we actually work together on this. So surveys on people competencies was suggested by Joanna to me, which is she wants to create a database of expertise and experiences of people, so that when you want to work together or you actually look for advices, you can actually go to this database and then start the collaboration, which is a very good idea, because this is one of the reason why we have Emanate. And the second is to post job opportunities. I think this is one of the needs from our community as well to continuously find the job that suits our passion. And we need to also develop this further, but I need your feedback to as to frame it. And then I would like to actually just like give a responsibility trees that is in my head. I see Emanate as one entity with a lot of tasks together, and we need a lot of resources. Like if and I know everyone is busy, but that's the reason why we need to distribute our tasks, because even me sometimes I don't find the willing to to work on the weekend. But yeah, I'm through giving you the pictures of how I think it should be are divided in terms of tasks, and I also think about this community focused. It means people who are doing, I mean, us or department, sub department who's doing surveys, job opportunities, like looking what is up out there, and then physical networking, like talking to PM3 or ME3 graduates, and then feed all these results back to the what do we need to do in webinar, what do we need to do in the website, what do we need to do in the podcast, and also what do we need to do with terms of social media. So I think that would be an ideal Emanate, and as you see, it cannot be done with just one person. So we need engagement from everyone, a little time from everyone, that and we put it together, and then we can make something, hopefully. Yeah, so this is the last slide. I think what I question myself the most is why is Emanate there? What are we doing? For me, it comes from the reason because I want to learn a lot of stuff, and it might not be the same for you guys. So maybe you guys can think about the reason why Emanate should be there, and if it was not there, what could be different, or maybe nothing would be different. But this is something that I ask myself. And what's in it for us? What's in it for me? It helps me to connect with a lot of people. It helps me to understand the world that I never thought existed, like nuclear, and then also like the wind turbine. It opens up a lot of ideas for myself and a lot of things that I don't know. And I like it. And who do we benefit? Like, of course, it's a community, the people who are watching Emanate, people who are watching webinar, but really, do they benefit from us? Like, or they can actually go to some other resources and find the same exact thing. So basically, there are three questions that I often ask myself, and then should I keep going with this? Should I involve more people on doing this? Should I bother more people on doing this? So if you find like good answers in yourself, then you can ask like, how can I be involved? And a lot of things that you can do that can be involved. I mean, you can get yourself involved in Emanate in a lot of ways. That's what I want to say. And yeah, well, thank you. And I hope tomorrow we will have a very good discussion. And I'm sorry that the presentation is too long. Bye bye. I love you guys.